Hi, everyone, and welcome to Self-Care Sunday. So glad you're joining me today, or whatever day it is for you. And I invite you to just take a moment to get settled in. Maybe hit your pause button, hit your reset button as we listen to the sound of the bell, and take a few moments to feel our breath and start to set kind of an intention today for taking care of ourselves, our mental health, our emotional health, our physical health, even to step into a place and a time of emptying out some of the stuff that has gotten us, that is clouding or creating chaos or fullness in our brain, our body, our mind, and just creating a little more space inside so that we can listen and figure out what is the right thing to do for each of us as we ask ourselves, what do I need to take care of myself right now? So let's just listen to the bell as we start to think about some of these things and feel into some of these things. You're welcome, as always, to close your eyes. You can keep them open. It's fine to be seated or standing or lying down. Take a few moments to just feel your breath. Notice how you're feeling as we get started today with our practice. So in today's practice, I want to invite you into contemplating, thinking about, and feeling into the idea of being present. So we hear this a lot. It's talked about a lot in a lot of different circles. We see things on memes or on, social media, or we see reels. And it sounds really easy. Sometimes it may be something that we think sounds good, or that we think might be easy, or maybe we even think we're practicing presence, or maybe it's kind of like, what's the point of being present? And maybe we've heard it too much, or it's become a little cliche or overused, and we just shrug it off or just kind of dismiss it. But what I've learned over years of practicing and trying to practice presence and thinking about it and kind of reflecting on its benefits, or noticing how it shows up or doesn't show up in my life, I've realized that really the foundation of all self-care and the foundation of good relationships and the foundation of processing emotions or processing things that are hard, or helping us to recover from stress, or even trauma, does require our ability to be present. And that means that we can, not 100% of the time, right? We're not going to be present 100% of the time, but that we have practiced it enough that we can access it when we need to, or when we remind ourselves, or when we're reminded by somebody. It's not an easy thing to do. It sounds really simple. It may even sound easy. I think a lot of people don't do it because it can feel so challenging. The thoughts that we have going through our minds constantly can feel very in control, and can feel overwhelming, can feel like, how are you supposed to be present when there's so much going through our minds and we're being asked to pay attention to so many different things. I think also that people have the idea that something like, in order to be present, you have to be a meditator. I don't believe that that's true at all, although I do believe meditation can help a lot, but I don't think it's the only way, or that seated kind of traditional or more the way we think about meditation. It doesn't have to look that way. That's one. I also think that some of our ideas about being present or meditation is that we think we need to have a blank mind or get rid of all those thoughts, and that is also not true. Our mind, our brain is meant to think. So we're going to have thoughts come up randomly, constantly. We get to decide, though, where the distinction is we get to decide whether we're going to continue thinking the thoughts that do show up. So it is possible to build a practice and to get better at. You don't have to be an expert, you don't have to be perfect, but it is possible to get better at noticing when a thought comes up and then feeling like you have the ability within yourself to either hold on to that thought and keep thinking it or keep running it over and over, or choosing letting it go or letting it just flow by, or not giving it a lot of energy and attention. So focusing on our breath is one of the key ways to give our mind, or your mind needs something to focus on. It needs something to do. So we want to give it something to focus on, especially when we're beginning. Like the way we create behavior change, the way we create new habits is not by just letting go of an old habit. That's actually not really possible from what I understand. You have to replace the habit you want to release or get rid of or change with something else. Your brain needs something else to do, right? So instead of just being like, well, I'm just going to let go of thoughts, or I'm just going to like not think that thing, it's better if we can give our mind something to focus on. And the breath is one of the easiest things because it's right there with us all the time. And there's this kind of rhythm and consistency to its rhythm. And so it's something to focus on. It's not the only thing, though, that there is to focus on. You could focus on a different thought or an image, something that comes from your mind. You can focus, I've done, practices where you focus on something external, where you try to like focus your eyes and therefore your attention onto something that's outside of yourself, whether that's, a candle or even a flower, a tree, it doesn't have to be something in nature, but like you focus your attention on the outside. I find it's easier to be present, at least in a more formal practice way with my eyes closed, but some people want to keep their eyes open, and that's okay too. But the whole point is realizing that we do and can practice trying to have a little more agency or control or option, some choice about where we put our attention. Now, our attention is constantly going to be drawn to different thoughts and different things and memories and, oh, I wish I did that, and to-do lists, right? And when that happens, you just go, oh, instead of beating yourself up, instead of saying you're not doing it right, that's exactly what your mind is supposed to do. And the whole point of being present is noticing where your mind is. So say you're sitting and you're focusing on your breath, and then maybe you think you're focusing on your breath, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I'm caught up in this story, and I've just been rolling it in my head, and now I'm way off somewhere else in my mind, right? I've gone to a totally different time and place. There's no problem with that. That's totally normal and fine. You just, when you notice, oh, I've done that, then you've come into presence, right? And then you go, oh, now I have a choice. Now I know where I'm present to where my mind is, what my thoughts are. I can either keep going with that and go off into what's not present, right? What's not here and now, right now. Or I can choose to come back to being present to my breath, or being present to a certain sensation in my body, or being present to something I'm focusing my eyes on, or being present to a sound I'm listening to, right? Music sometimes can help give us a place to put our attention. We keep coming back to the music, to the sound. I find that the breath is the easiest, but you may find something else. Now, why is presence important? And I know we haven't even practiced yet, and it's like I'm 10 minutes in, but our children need presence. They need our presence. They don't need our 100% presence all the time, but they do need, and not just children, the people that are important to us, everybody in our lives that we're having conversations with, they need presence. Everybody craves presence. And there are ways that I've learned to try to bring myself back to presence when I'm listening to somebody talk. And rather than me just waiting to jump in and focus and like concentrate on what I want to say, which is really hard to do. It takes practice. I'm not great at this, but I do practice it as much as I can. But think about how good it feels, how validating, how just like connecting and affirming it is when somebody is present to you, when they're actually listening to what you're saying. A lot of times we don't need anybody to fix anything for us or to give us advice. We just need them to hear us and truly hear us, right? So, so that's one thing. Another thing is presence helps us to really listen to ourselves and to our bodies. So if we can learn to become more present, we're going to be able to kind of listen to the signs and signals of our bodies that can help guide us to know, how do I need to take care of myself? What do I need to do to address this pain or this this issue or condition? It doesn't mean everything is going to go away or that we're not going to have any problems, but presence can bring an element of spaciousness, and that allows for a little more compassion to come through and more of a curiosity about what might I need in this moment to help me through this situation, or what might I need in this moment to take care of myself and my body. So there are so many benefits to being present, and it's really the foundation of human connection, and the foundation of feeling like we belong, and the foundation of being able to actually take care of ourselves in a way that actually works for us rather than listening to somebody else. Not that stuff from the outside can't help to us to like be open to new ideas or consider new ways of doing things or consider ways of, taking care of ourselves, or possibly solutions to problems. I listen to people all the time and see what they have to say, but then I have to check in with myself and go, does this really resonate with me and what feels right to me? And the only way I can do that is if I'm practiced at least somewhat in being present to myself. So I invite you for the next just few minutes to practice being present. So it can be really helpful when you're doing this. I mean, you could be walking, if walking slowly and being present to your steps and your body as you walk, if that feels better to you than sitting still, that's totally fine. Maybe a soft sway. Sometimes I need to move my body a little bit and I'll just sway. I'll find myself swaying, and that helps me to stay more connected and present to my body, my needs. Maybe you want to lay down or sit down and be more still, whatever works for you. I'm going to invite you to focus on your breath, but if you find that you want to bring your awareness to some other focal point, you could focus on a part of your body or sensation in your body. You could focus on an image you have in your mind, or a certain phrase you want to repeat that is helping you to stay present. And it could be anything, right? You might want to listen to a sound. If you're open to feeling your breath, I invite you to notice your breath as it's flowing in through your nose, if you can, and then notice your breath as it's moving out. And can you feel the sensations of your breath? the cooler air coming in through your nose. Can you feel it moving into your lungs and filling or expanding parts of your torso? And then when you breathe out, you feel the air leaving. Maybe you feel a deflation, a retraction of your torso. Maybe you feel it moving through your throat and out of your nose or your mouth, and it's likely a little warmer than when it came in. And I invite you to just remind yourself to come back to the present. Maybe you say, as you breathe in, I'm breathing in. As you're breathing out, you say, I'm breathing out. Just reminding yourself of what is actually happening right now. Breathing in and breathing out. I feel my breath coming in. I feel my breath coming out. And when you feel your mind wander and you're thinking about other things, you just gently bring your attention back to feeling the moment. I'm present right now. And I allow myself to come back to presence time and time again, here and now. And when your mind wanders, sometimes I like to imagine the thoughts like these clouds or bubbles that are floating through the air, and you just let them float by. You go, oh, there's a thought. And sometimes we get caught up and we go with it. And then when we notice that, we just bring ourselves back and feel the breath or say a phrase or come back to whatever it is you want to focus on. I'm fully present here, fully present now. I can feel my breath. I can feel my body. I'm breathing in and breathing out. There's nothing I need to do right now. I'm right here. When you feel the thought clouds come up, you just gently come back. Come back to whatever your anchor is, your anchor of attention. And you remind yourself that you are here right now. There's nothing else you need to do. When we come into the present, there's a sense of ungrasping our clenched fist onto doing. We see if we can just let things be. Emotions might come in and you're like, hey, emotions, hey, anger, hey, impatience, hey, boredom, hello. And then like a cloud, you just let them go. This builds our capacity to handle stress and emotions and uncomfortable or distracting thoughts. We're like, they can be there and we can choose how much they impact us. That's where our sense of empowerment and confidence and sense of capacity in our nervous system and even resilience resides. The ability to be present to and hold a space for uncomfortable things rather than needing to fix them right away or do something about them right away. Unless there's something that actually needs to be addressed because it might be harmful or hurtful. Right? But a lot of times it's just uncomfortable. That doesn't mean it's harmful or hurtful. It's just uncomfortable. If we can hold space for that, pain that's uncomfortable, emotional pain that's uncomfortable, grief, frustration, unfairness. If we can hold space for that and not constantly just react and not just jump in and try to fix or change or make it different, it's going to give us all a lot more sense of space in our lives, a lot more sense of like, I've got this. a lot more sense of groundedness. And then others will feel that. They feel like, oh, this person can handle this, right? And if they can handle it, maybe there's a way I can handle it. It doesn't have to be done on our own, but there is a lot of inner capacity we can each build that when we put it all together in a community, think about that and how that feels to the youth and the children that are growing up around us, whether we're parents or not. Breathe in and breathe out. I'm present right now. I invite you to sit if you can, or if you're walking or moving a little bit, to just keep coming back to presence for like 2 more minutes. This is a longer video, but 2 more minutes without me saying anything. Keep reminding yourself to bring your attention back to your focal point. I am here right now. All right. So thank you for joining today. I invite you to bring little moments of presence into your life throughout your day. Sometimes I will take the app called Insight Timer and set a bell to ring. Sometimes every half hour, sometimes every hour. I just play with it depending on the day. But that bell goes off on my phone, and then it reminds me to just pause and become present for just 1 or 2 breaths. And then I go on with my day. And then I have those moments of pause and presence throughout my day so that it doesn't feel so overwhelming to practice it all at once in like one big sitting that, can sometimes feel like a lot. So these little moments can add up to something really big and give us more of a sense of capacity and more of a sense of being able to handle the things, the challenges, the stresses that are showing up in our lives. It enhances our relationships. It gives us the ability to be more fully with the people in our lives. Anyone can do this anytime. So I invite you to give it a try this week and take good care. And I will see you next time. Bye.